How you doing? See you. How you doing? Well. Oh. Hopefully it works for everybody. I'll see. Okay. So the third day. Oh, yeah. Never signed one. Two. Yeah, I'll be done after. Yeah.
All right, it's now 7 o'clock. Let's call this meeting to order.
Mayor Black? Yeah, Mayor Black?
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Moore?
Here.
Commissioner Fowler?
Here.
Commissioner Laws?
Here.
Commissioner Connor?
Here.
Commissioner Moore?
Here.
Let's bow for invocation. Dear God, our Father in heaven, such a beautiful day you've given us to be alive and well in. As we've gathered to do business for the town of Ranlo, we thank you for all your blessings upon us. And we pray, God, that you give us guidance tonight and help us make the right decisions in whatever we do. In Jesus' name we ask. Amen. All right, first item on the agenda, adoption of the agenda. We'll have a motion to accept.
I'll make such a motion.
Have a motion.
Second.
Got a second from Mr. Moore. All in favor? Next item on the agenda is awards and employee years of service and recognition.
Perfect. Mr. Mayor and Board of Commissioners, I'll ask that you please join me in front for this next section.
All right, so yes, Mr. Mayor and Board of Commissioners, this is a new agenda item for us in our monthly board meetings, but I do want to take a quick second just to take in kind of what we have here tonight. You know, we have a packed house, and what's awesome is that, you know, that's here because we're celebrating joy, which I think is just really worth taking a second to really enjoy. So I'm incredibly excited to announce that we will now be recognizing employees who have committed their time and lives to the town of Ranlo by recognizing milestones such as 5 years, 10, 15, and 20 years of service to the town of Ranlo by recognizing them at the regular meetings. The cadence of this agenda item will come up each time that we have an employee who the month of the meeting has reached that 5, 10, 15, or 20-year milestone. We will recognize a staff member at the podium. Then after saying a few words about the employee, we will then recognize that individual, and then they will get a chance to walk, shake everybody's hand, and then we can take a photo, and then as well take a photo with family if anybody is here. So this month is going to look a little different because we're going to actually catch up on the past 8 months of the milestones. So please know that we do have employees like Chief and some other folks here who have already hit this mark, but this is just the group that in the past 8 or so months have hit this. But the folks that have already hit these marks will also be getting their recognition as well. So what I'm going to start by doing is asking Mr. Green, our Public Works Director, to come and start us off.
Good evening, Mayor and Board. It is my distinct privilege tonight to recognize Zach Robinson for 5 years of service to the town of Ranlo. Zach's worked in every department of Public Works, from trash, parks, and recreation. He's currently with our stormwater and power bill crew. Zach is an equipment operator who always steps up when he's needed. Zach is an employee that will always be at work and is very talented in his job. Zach is an employee that when a special project is needed, he's always there. During the past several years, Zach has been a big part of our Christmas at the Lodge, our Easter events, and he's also became the Christmas light hanger for the town. Zach, being a native of Ranlo, knows Ranlo very well and has a lot of history and knowledge of it. Zach is always willing to help and is always a true Team Ranlo player. So please join me in giving a round of applause and honor Zach Robinson for 5 years of service.
Stand right in front center. Amazing, thanks,
Next, Mayor and Board, it's my distinct privilege tonight to also recognize Leo Osorio for 5 years of service to the town of Ranlo. Leo came to the town of Ranlo 5 years ago this month. Leo is a CDL driver in the sanitation department. Leo is probably, I know he is, the biggest face of Public Works. Leo drives the one-arm bandit trash truck and goes above and beyond for our customers. Leo will see a senior out in the yard working. Leo will stop, park his truck, speak with him. Leo is also bilingual and has is great help and assist at the front with the Spanish-speaking population. Leo takes his job very seriously, in which I'm very grateful. Leo is responsible for all the brush and the leaf pickups. Leo works by himself on Mondays and Tuesdays of every week, and the rest of the week he forms a crew with brush and leaf guys to go around and clean up the city. This is one of the most important jobs for the town that Leo does, and he does it with pride. Leo tells me every single week, let's go make Ranlo beautiful. Leo is a great asset to the team, to Team Ranlo, so please join me and give me a round of applause in honoring Leo for 5 years of service to
Thank you, guys.
Congratulations.
All right, Mayor and Board, it is now my distinct privilege to recognize Mr. Jason Green for 5 years of service with the town of Ranlo. Jason is a crucial member of the town and is, as you know, our Public Works Director. Not only has Jason served as the interim town manager on multiple cases, but is widely appreciated by just about everybody in Gaston County. Jason's impact has stretched from our collaboration, relationships with neighboring jurisdictions, and then up to leading to our water loss change, which came from, in 2020, we lost 34% of our water that we buy, mind you, down to between 12 and 16% as of this year. So think about that just for a second and the monumental impact that that has on our budget and just being a responsible government, that we were losing 30%, 34% of our water before Jason started, and we're down to low teens now that Jason's here. And that is largely in part of Jason's leadership and strong characteristics that he has brought to the Public Works Department. That is monumental. So Jason is a strong leader. We're very fortunate to have him here. And funny enough, today I got a call from a contractor. I can tell you this. He said to me, and when I got the call, I was like, oh, this is going to be something bad. He said, man, I work with a lot of towns, a lot of organizations. He said, I've never, ever worked with somebody like Jason Green. He said, he's the easiest guy to work with, and his exact quote was, I wish I could clone him and put him in every place that I go to. And I think that sums it up pretty well. So please join me, if you would, in giving a round of applause and honoring Jason Green for 5 years of service.
You're fired.
All right, thank you, Jason. And last but certainly not least, this was the only differentiating pin that I had to get here on the list of recognitions. And we will have one more thing after this, but I want to start by saying this is a big one. Mayor and Board, it is now my distinct privilege to recognize Ms. Beth Price for 10 years of service with the town of Ranlo. And I will also say that this does not include the 2 years of part-time work. This was from the effective date as of full-time. So 10 years. And I'm going to start this by saying a quote from Beth that Beth said to me last week that I think pretty accurately sums up Beth's character. Beth said, and with just such perfect authenticity, I truly love my job. Now just think about that for a second. How many people not only have a positive enough outlook on life to be able to say that, but then truly believe it? Beth is one of a kind. Beth serves as the town's billing administrator, which is, for the record, a very thankless and underappreciated job. As a majority of the time, Beth is being fussed at for water bill issues. But make no mistake, the issues are never Beth's fault. But Beth, with the most grace, smiles at every single person that comes to town hall and treats everyone with kindness, respect, and a smile. Beth's personality and knowledge about billing make her such an incredible value to the town, and I am beyond thrilled to ask you to please join me in giving a round of applause, Mayor and Commissioners, in recognition of Beth Price's 10 years of service to the town. Front set? Front set?
Sorry.
Thank you, Beth. All right. All right, Mr. Mayor and Board, I now want to take a second to switch gears to recognize one of our police officers for going above and beyond. This too is new, but I'm excited to recognize Sergeant Springs for exemplary service. And I don't believe Sergeant Springs knew this was happening. Mr. Mayor and Board, we received an email from a very thankful person here in Gaston County that had an interaction with our own Sergeant Springs that I want to take a second to share with you. I gave her a call. She was not able to make it tonight. I don't believe she's here. But she was happy with me sharing her email. So I will now read what she said. To whom it may concern. On March 10th, my daughter left work around 2:30 a.m. I am her mother. We were on the phone speaking. I had her location on, and she was sitting still in a place that she normally doesn't go, on Lowell Street. While speaking with her, she hung up in the middle of a conversation. I called her over 20 times and pinged her with the Find My Phone app, and she did not respond. I called 911 and gave them the location, and the operator dispatched officers to the scene. This is unusual behavior for my daughter, not typical at all. Less than 3 minutes later, Officer Springs called me on my daughter's phone because he had seen that I had called so many times. He told me that he figured I was mom and informed me that he and his colleagues found my daughter unconscious in her vehicle. He proceeded to tell me that someone had called in before he had actually gotten there with noticing that she had been slumped over in her car. Narcan was administered and she came back to. He told me that he spent quite a bit of time speaking with my daughter and just talking about life. He told me about what they spoke about and said that they spoke for at least 5 to 10 minutes and called me to let me know the status of my daughter. He spent at least 10 minutes on the phone with me reviewing the status and told me that he would not leave her. He asked me to come get her while I'm on my way. He said, I will not leave her. I spoke with him 2 or 3 more times prior to arriving. He was present, to say the least, and available for reassurance. He told me he was keeping an eye on my daughter. When I arrived on scene, he greeted me with a handshake and spoke a little bit more about her. He came alongside me emotionally and shared that he had children. We talked about what my daughter needed in the future, but in other words, he was caring, professional, graceful, and focused. I cannot thank him enough for being the type of police officer that is the example of what they should be. My daughter was very concerned with what happened, and when she went to the emergency room and had a fentanyl test because she states that she did not remember leaving work. Turns out, she tested positive. The emotional reaction to this is a lot for my daughter and myself. But bottom line, Sergeant Springs saved my daughter's life in addition to being respectful and caring. Mr. Mayor and Board, Sergeant Springs saved this young lady's life and went above and beyond to communicate and calm her mother down and let her know that everything would be okay. If we can, let's please give a round of applause to this incredible service, and we will actually recognize Sergeant Springs in giving him a certificate of exemplary service as a Ranlo police officer and what he did for that family that night.
If I may say something, it was not just me. Tanogo was there with me, our captain was there, as well as the Lowell police officer was also there. So it was not just me, it was a group effort.
Thank you. Thank you again. this section. I can ask you all to go ahead and sit back down, but I will just take a quick second to say to the folks who are here that came for the recognition, whether the years of service were for Sergeant Springs, you are welcome to stay for the entire meeting. You're welcome to stay for all the business. But for those of you who want to go ahead and leave, this is a perfect time too, and we'll take a couple minutes to allow everybody to head on out. Feel free to stay, but you're more than welcome to take off if you like. That concludes all the recognition.
It's really fixing to get exciting. Yeah, this is a good one.
It's fine.
I guess we're technically still in three.
All right. Resuming the meeting, next item on the agenda is comments from attendees. Do we have anyone sign up?
Not officially signed up, but if you'd like to speak, feel free.
Okay. All right, old business, adoption of the February 8th regular meeting minutes. Have a motion to accept.
I would like to make this correction. Paragraph 2 is lettered as I am, we don't have a regular salary meeting. The regular commissioner meeting,
Perfect.
I'll make a motion to make that change.
Commissioner, you can make a motion to approve the minutes as amended. Yeah.
I'd like to make a motion to approve as amended.
Also,
All right, all in favor? So carried. New business presentation of the 2024 calendar of events and the Gaston Business Association partnership.
Yes, sir. So, Mr. Mayor and Board, I'll go ahead and take this one. So before you tonight is our first draft proposal of what we're calling the calendar of events for the town of Ranlo. Please note that this is our first draft. So if you have any changes or events that you'd like to add, we can discuss that tonight, and they can absolutely be done. But what we wanted to do is just put some dates down for some of our bigger ones. So feel free to look through, and then again, if you want to move something around or want to make it change, we're happy to do that. But pending conversation around the calendar, we will adopt it at some point when we can make sure all those changes are made. And then what we will do, and the goal of this is to then put it on our website, and then actually work with the Gaston Business Association about some extra publicity. So this month I was able to go to the Gaston Business Association meeting, where I found out that on the Go Gaston website, we don't have a Ranlo page, but a lot of the surrounding jurisdictions do. So I'm excited to say that we're going to have that, so that when we have our calendar events and once we get it approved, we'll be able to put it on the Gaston County's website, and then that'll make it so that anybody on the website will be able to see Ranlo's events, and obviously hopefully get some more attention around some of the things that we're doing. So.
All right, next item is notification of Congressman Jeff Jackson's financial update.
Yes, sir. So, Mr. Mayor and Board, there's no paper reference or anything attached for this agenda item, nor is there really any vote or item needed, but this is new business in that I wanted to just make you aware. So last Friday, I got a call on my cell phone from a number I didn't have saved in my phone. I picked up the phone. It's Congressman Jeff Jackson. I said, "How are you doing, sir?" He said we were doing great. And then he let us know that he was able to confirm and secure the town of Ranlo the $1 million that we requested in federal money, federal funds that will go towards the second water interconnect that we're installing from the city of Gastonia. So it's incredible news from Congressman Jackson, and we want to make sure that we say thank you to him, definitely in this meeting, but then as well as we go forward, for all the support for taking care of Ranlo. And I'll be getting the official notification soon. But yeah, the requested $1 million is heading our way from from DC. So exciting stuff. Go
All
ahead.
right, next item on the agenda is the rental rates for nonprofit and charitable organizations discussion.
Yeah, so Mr. Mayor and Council, I'm going to let Commissioner Connor speak about this item, but I will, if needed, give any advice or comments from staff side.
Okay, with our beautiful new lodge, you're gonna have, you have other individuals, companies, nonprofits are interested in the use of the lodge. And with these nonprofits, I'm wondering if maybe we could consider the cost of rental for these agencies if they are nonprofit. I don't know what the going rate is now. I think it's like two something.
It just depends if you're a Ranlo resident or not. Like it's 400 for non, and then basically half that for residents. That includes the deposit, but it just depends if you live in town or not. Right. 100 of which is the deposit.
So
Right.
just wanted to see if maybe we can discuss what the rate would be for nonprofit that's interested in using the facility. And also, I think another thing that would really boost more interest into the lodge also would be if the town considered the purchase of a smart board to have for the lodge. That way, when they have meetings there, gatherings, like those interested in the trail that's gonna go up the mountain, when they meet there, they can use the smart boards to pull up their information, you know, just a big computer screen basically. And then you have people that have like, weddings and birthday parties and things of that nature. They may even consider to use that. A lot of people like to put family pictures and have them going on during birthday parties, or it could be a repast after a funeral, things of that nature. But I do think that that piece of equipment would be really good to have at our lodge for patrons that want to use it, to have available, to have that type of equipment there for meetings and things like that. But,
That would probably have to be discussed at one of our upcoming budget meetings, to appropriate funds for
a
addition,
smart
so,
board.
yeah, addition, something like that, get the price. And, be looking at that to be a part of that budget. But as far as the 400 and 250, for nonprofits, what are y'all thinking on that? Does anybody have a comment on what you'd like to reduce it? 10%, 50%? You got a thought on that, or what was your thought on?
well, I was hoping that, for nonprofit, I guess it's hard to say for free because I know cleaning and all that's involved, but at least down to 150 for nonprofit.
So out of town nonprofits would probably, right now it's 400, so you're saying maybe 50% of that?
You saying? Okay, so the nonprofit is here in Ranlo,
It's 250,
it's 250.
and you get 100 back, so it's really 150.
Could it be the same for nonprofit? Even if they're
Out
not
of town or in town?
out of town?
I would, I don't know, I think that's be up to the board, thought on that, I mean, if any input, anybody got any input?
I just think that if they're not making money or selling anything, and if they don't keep saying, we want the lodge, once a blue moon, I know they clean, I know they get corporate clean. I mean, I would say $100, I mean, you know, they could give you $100, because that would cover the cleaning aspect of it.
And we said a number of times they can rent the lodge for a year.
Yeah.
Or perhaps once.
Is there different, I guess, nonprofits, categories of different nonprofits that we need to think about? Or that you want to include, not include?
What-
There are different nonprofits that we may not want.
Sure. And in thinking about this, and it of course will be whatever the board decides, but, thinking about it from a staff or policy standpoint, we could always put something in place, like if you're wanting to get the discounted rate as a nonprofit, that we have some sort of application that has to happen beforehand so we can see the organization, or maybe even if the board, if the appetite of the board is that if you want this discount, then maybe you have to come in front of the board to present your nonprofit. I mean, I think there's a bunch of different ways from a policy standpoint that I think we could take it. But I would definitely I think it would be beneficial to do, not necessarily like a vetting, but just have an application process. That way we have on the books and we know, just like we would for anybody that's going to our facilities in the first place.
Yeah. Proof of nonprofit.
Sure. Because there are a lot of different categories.
I know usually in festivals, nonprofits, I don't think we charge them anything, because what they was just out giving material and stuff.
Sure.
Like churches and stuff.
Sure. And I think a lot of this started too, like, if the Red Cross is wanting to do a blood drive, I think, it's kind of like the spirit of, well, do we charge or do we not? But then at some point the line, and this will be the board's decision, the line will have to be drawn at some point where, and if it's whatever the board decides, if it's something as simple as how the taxes are done, if that's what it is, or how the state defines a nonprofit or a charitable organization, I think we can kind of work down the line as far as getting the nomenclature squared away for the policy. But again, that would have to just be the board's decision, but there is some room to work with that.
Okay, so we'll, come back next week or next month and have some better ideas of this, and it's good that you have it in consideration.
Mr. Mayor, would you like me to prepare anything specific for next month for that discussion? Do you want me to pull?
Yeah. You
Just
could
maybe put a draft in.
Poll couple other towns of what they're doing for
Sure.
nonprofits, and maybe give us some options, and that'd be great.
Can do.
Make a decision that would benefit everybody. And, is it gonna be retroactive?
I believe that would be a board decision.
Okay. As of last month, right there. All right, okay. Is that all? Anybody, you got anything else on that item? So the other business, town manager's report.
Yes, sir. So, Mr. Mayor and Board, I'd like to start off with some other exciting news on top of the million that we got. We were informed since our last meeting that our police department was able to secure a grant in the amount of $29,456. This grant is going to fund police dash cameras and among many other items. But I would like to just say, well done, Chief Lunsford, and the assistant chief and Pam and everybody who was involved in that. That almost $30,000. That's a monumental feat. So, very well done, Chief.
Where was that from, sir?
It was grant money from
Looking on the jacket.
the JAG grant. Right. And funny enough, this was actually from 2023, but we were just issued it. So, and we'll be applying it again. Also related to the police department, and as I'm sure you saw, we swore in our K-9 officer time this week, which was an incredible event for us here in Ranlo. We had this room filled just like we did again tonight. We were able to get time with grant money, and we're lucky enough to have Jean, our trainer, who got us up to speed. She will be in action soon, as she's finishing up some of her just like last classes. But we were able to have the swearing in, and it's really reassuring knowing that we will have a K-9 officer here in Ranlo. It's an incredible thing that she's able to do. She was able to give us a demo for those that came and see some of the things that she's able to do, and it's pretty great. So.
Do we still have the old K-9 that we had in operation?
All right, moving on forward. So talking about the org chart, and I'll make this quick, but Mayor and Board, I wanted to share some organizational health updates with you as well. This is not major, but to me it is as the person in charge here, I guess, if you will. So I have a standing meeting with admin and HR every week to go over our organization and any HR matters. One of the things that I'm focusing on in my short time here is making sure that we have a strong and healthy organization from a staff standpoint. This includes updating our job descriptions, some of our old policy manuals. Some of these things haven't been touched in a very long time, and just taking a look at how we operate, right? So when Pam and I started having the discussions around the organizations, we realized that we didn't really have an org chart, right? We kind of know how we have done things. We kind of know who does what. We kind of know how it looks, but we didn't have a strong, transparent line and block chart for organization. And in my experience, this is a crucial first step to building a strong government to help better budget, knowing that we're operating as efficiently as possible. So Pam and I have been working hard to put together what I have in your packets tonight, which is our official town's organization chart. So you will see that there are 3 pages. The first is the administration sheet. You will see that we have the citizens of Ranlo at the top, then the Board of Commissioners, and then staff, as you know, below. Please also recognize that no changes were made, right? This is not there was zero restructuring, reorganization, nothing of that. This is just a simple snapshot of what we look and how we operate today. The second page is our police department, and then the third is our public works department. At the top of the page, you will see a couple numbers. The numbers represent our current filled jobs, or what would be existing vacancies based on our current job descriptions versus how many actual positions that we have in that department. And you will also see on the administration sheet that there's an organization total. So on page 1, it's Ranlo total. So 31 of 31, meaning that we are full staff. So as I mentioned before, there is no action or anything needed with this, but I am proud of Pam and staff who worked with me to help build this crucial first step in the health of our organization. This also puts us in a strong position to rebuild the way that we advertise positions coming up in the future, and as we grow in the future, to know that we have a strong foundation in which to build upon. That's what.
Impressive.
Perfect. Next up is the budget timeline. So you have this in your packet as well. Just a quick reminder that this is the timeline that we're using. I know we've had some technical problems here in the last couple of weeks with emails and different things like that. So if you maybe had missed that, have no fear. It's in your packet and it's up on the wall as well for those residents who are here and would like to see it. The one thing that I just want to remind you about and make sure that it is said is that to not forget that Two Rivers is meeting on March 27th for water and sewer rates. So I'll be in attendance at that meeting. As of right now, they have a proposed 7.5% water and sewer increase that would be effective July 1st. Obviously, that has implications on us going into budget season, which is why I intentionally put that we would be preparing the budget together just right after that meeting. That way we have some better ideas of what actually will be passed if passed and at what percentage. Make sense? Easy enough? Awesome. YMCA, this is another fun one. We actually heard today and posted on our social media that sports are back in Ranlo. So March 25th, we'll actually start our registration for summer T-ball that will take place here at the Ranlo ball field, courtesy of the YMCA and our partnership. So residents will be able to register online or any of our YMCA or the Gaston County YMCA locations. Registration is $65 for members, $95 for non-members, but we had a very long discussion about if there is a participant who can't afford the membership, on the YMCA website, there is a financial assistance program that they have, and then that folks could apply for assistance. And it's not necessarily income driven. It can be any number of instances. And the YMCA was very adamant and strong in their belief to support families in playing and not letting finances or any monetary obstacle be the reason that a child is not playing. So I highly encourage folks, if that does apply to you, to look at the YMCA's website as we approach the registration here come the end of March to see if there's anything that the Y can do. Yep. So there are going to be 2. There's going to be a U5, which is 3 and 4-year-olds, which is T-ball. And then there's also going to be a U7, it's like under 7 is what the U essentially is, which is 5 and 6-year-olds. So 3 and 4-year-olds, 5 and 6-year-olds, and the 5 and 6 will be coach pitch. They're calling it all T-ball, but the 5 and 6 will be coach pitch. And the program itself will start May 21st, which there will be 2 weeks of practices. So Tuesday, Thursday, Thursday. There'll be 4 practices per team. And then after that, they'll go right into games. And then there will be 6 weeks of games, 2 games a week, same thing, Tuesday, Thursday. And go ahead, I'm sorry.
Are we going to be open to the concession stand, or are they going to handle that?
Yeah, that's a discussion that we can have. What we have in our memorandum of understanding or agreement is that the town of Ranlo will provide all the, I'll say, hard assets, if you will, like the ball field, trash cans, making sure that the bathrooms are open. Happy to have that discussion if that's something that we want to go down that line. But the YMCA is providing all the equipment, goalposts, when it comes time for soccer, T-ball, balls, all that stuff. But we're in charge of the facilities, if you will. So we're happy to have that discussion down the road if you'd like. And then participants who do sign up will get an email from the YMCA, not from the town of Ranlo, about what team you're on, when your practice is, you know, when you're starting. All that stuff will be from the YMCA, but it'll be right here on the ball field here in Ranlo.
Is I say sponsorship for people in Ranlo something that the town could do for families that maybe the YMCA can't do for all, but maybe the town can sponsor?
I think if the board sees fit, we could absolutely explore something like that. And this is a new partnership. So there's a lot of things like concession stand or, you know, sponsorships. There's a lot of things that now that we're going down this exciting road, we can absolutely have those conversations. And if it's the will of the board, we can absolutely do something like that. Any other questions on the why?
Is that, what about, you don't have to be members, right, of the Y?
You don't. It is more expensive if you're not a member. So it's $65 for members, $95 for non-members. But then if there's an issue or if the finances are an obstacle, you can go to the website and there is a financial assistance. I think I have grant money and access to different funds that they could use to help support.
What does the $95 go towards? I know it goes for uniforms and stuff, but, I mean,
I would not be able to tell you how their fee structure is built. Like I could tell you 5 of this goes back to their admin, 10 of this. I don't know those numbers, but that's just what their cost is.
to me, it just, I mean, we give them the assets to a ball field, concession stands, that I just think these people ain't gonna just be a member of Y just to play ball. I mean, non-member, but I think the 95 would be down a little bit more than what it is. I mean, like 75. I mean, we give them assets for ball fields. So we're going to inherit lights. We're going to be paying for lights, and the power.
Didn't we discuss that when we made the contract with them a couple months ago? The rates and stuff? I mean, I think we make the argument with agreement with them now, but what about changing the next 4 hours? Yeah, there's set rate.
While we're talking about the Y, I don't know who's gonna bring it up or not about maybe doing a partnership with the Y with employees.
Yeah, I know it was kind of the, Pam and I are looking at ways to incentivize some of our health programs, and one of which was, you know, not having either an exercise facility here or some way to promote, you know, physical or health, you know, and well-being or mental health well-being.
Some municipalities, employees pay $10
Yeah.
to go to the Y. And
So
the
I-
town meets the other
So I
way.
emailed the YMCA and got some numbers back. And there are different ways, if the board chooses, if that's something that the board would want to go forward with, there is a way where there's like a corporate membership where the town could sign up 31 individuals to be members, and the town would pay for, and there's a couple different options. There's an option where the town pays for 75% of the membership for each employee. The town pays for 90%. The town pays for 100%. Obviously, when that number grows, the cost of the town grows as well. So we could always sit down and look at those numbers. I don't know if off the top of my head, but I have the email with the numbers about what it would cost the town to give the employees a discounted rate at YMCA for those that work here. And I can write that down to bring that next month, those specific ones. Any other questions about that one? Perfect. And then last but not least, I just want to quickly mention all of the important meetings that we had all over the last month since our last meeting, especially because I'm so new. I want to thank Senator Brad Overcash for coming to visit us last week. Senator Overcash came here and got a chance to meet him. He spent the morning with us. We actually took him up on the mountain. It was a lot of fun. We talked about some of the upcoming projects for Ranlo and what we want to get done. I also want to mention that Representative Torbett will be visiting tomorrow to come meet me and get a chance to hear about all of our projects. I also met with Eddie Carrick, our auditor, the president of the Mountain View HOA, the league about our Black Mountain software update that we're getting, the Gaston Business Association, the NCDEQ Office of State Budget Management. Reagan and I went to Winston-Salem, got a financial management certification, and even managed to get my first hot dog from Will's Hot Dog Stand this month. So, and I continue to repeat it, but I just want to kind of reiterate, you know, we have strong momentum going on here in Ranlo, so it's very exciting. So before I give it up, though, I will toss it over to Chief Lunsford, who will give us the PD report for this month.
Thank y'all. We responded to 509 events in the month of February. A couple high ones with domestic violence, we had 21. We ran 3 overdose calls, we had 2 drone deployments, 5 assaults, and numerous other calls. We issued 28 citations.
Job well done.
Agreed. Agreed. Thank you, Chief. Mr. Mayor and Board, that concludes the town manager's report and agenda item 9. No votes or action are needed from this informational report.
All right, only comment I can think of is, we had talked earlier, concerning the, moving of our town sign, where it says, town of Ranlo,
The green one on Spencer Mountain?
right?
Yeah.
I think our new boundary is further down the mountain. So I was wondering I think we have to go through a procedure, right? Is that correct?
It is because it's a state sign, and I actually believe they track them. Like, I think they know where they are, if I'm not mistaken. But what we can
They
do,
have to move it, or would it be up to us?
they would definitely have to move it. The minute, and that's kind of the standing anything really, is that the minute, we put our hands on it, it kind of becomes ours, which has its benefits and also negative. But if it's state sign, state road, we would want to reach out to them to make sure that they're moving their sign. But if it's to accurately reflect our jurisdiction, then that makes sense.
There's also one with like Grace Baptist, it's not the correct location.
What I can do, Mayor and Board, is reach out to DOT. Jason and I will reach out to DOT and see what we can get. If it's not moved by next month, we'll at least have an update for you.
I know, I constantly get people, didn't we, annex that?
We sure do.
It's a government thing. It's a low cost.
That's right, yes, sir.
That's all I have, anything from the board?
I have one thing, I want to question, I had a neighbor ask me about this. Coming down Spencer Mountain Road, they're putting up the fencing, like for the trucks or whatever. I have a neighbor that feels like that village is ugly. She doesn't like the way it looks, the truck's backing up there. What is that? Is that an actual truck stop? I mean, what
This
is?
became a truck parking lot. They can rent those spaces, and what those, it's not really a fence, it's signs,
Numbers on
space for the trucks to back into.
That's not fencing?
No.
Okay. And so they rent these spots and they can come west there.
Or leave
Is
it
that
there
what
for
it
storage.
They leave it's like storage, they leave their vehicles there.
So truckers they have layovers, they can only drive so many hours and or if they don't have a haul.
What do you call that? What does he call it? Do you know the name of it?
I would think you call it a truck stop, well, it's basically a truck stop.
Just
Really
a
what
truck
it is.
stop. Truck stop. Okay.
That's what it is. He just rents spaces. Yeah.
Okay.
Is that song for a hub?
They're calling it a hub, that we can direct report down there, so we just call it a hub.
It's an industrial zone.
So the truckers come out of the truck and leave it there. They don't actually sleep in these vehicles.
Some may.
That's up for debate, because I've had some
But that's
people
some
tell
sleeper
me
cabs.
that they lose people sleeping. Now, I don't know, I hadn't seen them. I'm just telling what I've been told. So I
But
don't
there's been
know.
no problems with that though.
We've only responded to one incident, it was a truck back into another truck, which, 10 people report accident.
Okay, the neighbor was concerned about, she said she was going to come tonight, she didn't make it, but she said that she was concerned about, drug dealing, prostitution.
No, it's not a truck stop.
No,
You have to move a rock lizard up there.
I think the record's been out there more than anybody, because that stuff he puts down, his trucks are heavy, they sink up to the bumper. They do, they pull, they do the record out, pull them out.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, I have a question. All right. Where are we at on the condemnation of the properties on Randall Avenue, Josh?
We should probably talk about that in closed session, because it is active litigation, so I'm happy to give you a report on that.
And we are going to close session.
Yeah, we can talk about that in closed session.
All right, I would entertain a motion to go into closed session. We have a second.
I'll second.
All in favor? So carried. Clear the room. Got all